Welcome back to the BroPak Blueprint podcast. This is where we go back to our roots, back to purpose, community, leadership, and the system that shaped what we built. I'm your host, Benjamin Figueroa Medina, founder of BroPak. Today, we're going to go back to our roots through project management, innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, and building with intention. Our guest is Xavier, a PMP certified project manager, founder and CEO of PM for You, with more than 20 years of experience helping teams, businesses, and organizations move from ideas to execution. His story reminds us that the growth does not happen by accident. It's structure, strategy, collaboration, and the power of we. Xavier, welcome to the BroPak Blueprint.
Hi, Ben. Thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to talk to you and be part of your vision. Yeah.
And I thank you for coming on, especially because to me, you're one of my mentors that have been pushing me since we actually met. I remember sitting down in your backyard, and before people were coming to the barbecue, we were just talking, and you were just like, "What exactly do you want to do?" And you were
Mhm.
just, "I'll give me some different advices on what I should do, think about." And to me, when people go out their way to tell me that, it means a big impact to me. So ever since that, you would tell me like, "Yo, remember your mental matters more than anything. Your health
Mhm.
matters than anything." And to me, with everything that I've been going through, it was one of the biggest realizations that I've had. So I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm excited for the world to see and hear who you are and the impact
Yeah.
that you do.
Thank
So,
you for those kind words.
well, thank you. And so before we continue, for the listeners that are meeting you for the first time, hearing you for the first time, who's have Xavier beyond the titles, certifications, and the professional roles?
Sure. So it's interesting. I've had an interesting journey. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I went to school in Puerto Rico, and I lived both worlds. I went to Catholic school. I lived to public school. But around living in such a beautiful island with amazing people, happy culture, there's also a lot of challenges, right? And
Hmm.
in Puerto Rico, it's my home, right?
Hmm.
But I remember my parents, that they had to struggle in different ways. That's all there is to it. And then when I got to become an adult, then I saw, oh, this is how this society works,
Wow.
and this is how things get done, right? And that taught me resiliency, from hurricanes
Yeah.
to water outages to electricity to not getting the job because you didn't know the right people.
Yeah.
Okay. So then after that, I decided that I came to Philadelphia, and I loved the city. But I also saw the potential because Philadelphia is such a great place to live, not only as a city and culture, but so many pharmacies and industries and education and universities
Hmm.
and everything else. So at some point, I was working at the Hard Rock Cafe as a waiter, which I'm very proud of, and that experience got me out of my shell because I'm an introvert. I've always been to. But when you start working with customers and service and in a restaurant industry, you have to just be a different introvert. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at that point, I said, I have nothing to lose by moving to Philadelphia and
Wow.
trying something new. Okay. So I moved here, two bags, a computer. My dad gave me a pickup truck, and I had a job at the Hard Rock Cafe. And I did have my bachelor's degree and a U.S. passport. That's it. Um, so from there, I got a job at a corporate role, and I started from the bottom in the laboratory, and then I grew up in that company, and then I moved to another company, and that company I stayed 15 years, and that was a
Wow.
global company. Um, so it was a really great experience. After that, then I am where I am today. You know but
That's
throughout all
amazing.
those experiences, I noticed that there's people in your way, and
Hmm.
it's good to have that open mind and not think, oh, well, this person is just trying to tell me what to do, right? Some
Hmm.
people do that, right?
Hmm.
And some people just hint you at it, but you have to recognize what it is. When is it? Or their intentions, right? That was it. That's
Yeah,
what
no,
me. I had no children when I moved here. Now I have a family, two kids, a house, and debt, and I love life. You know.
that's beautiful. Even how in the beginning, one of the things that I want to bring up back up is that the struggle that you went through Puerto Rico, because it's like a lot of people don't understand, like it's not the rainbows and sunshines. There's a,
Mhm,
especially with the hurricanes. I remember when I was little, having to, we used to live, I think it was on the fourth floor, having to go all the way to the center of the proyecto,
mhm,
and we had to get like the box lunch because we couldn't go anywhere because of the storms. So it
mhm,
was just like it's so beautiful how you go from one place and you just continue growing and learning from things and being
mhm.
able to see where you're at now. Um, with that being said, what pulled you towards project management, innovations, and helping ideas come real?
That's an interesting question. So I'm a scientist, and I love to explore and do solutions, right?
Hmm.
Um, but throughout my career, I found myself that I was part of a team or leading a team, and
Okay.
so I didn't know I was doing project management back then, right? So I was just
Wow.
like, let's just do, deliver, and focus on what the company needs and the customer needs, because customers is very centric to everything we do, right? So eventually I found out, oh, there is a project management career here. And after doing a lot of innovation launches and working on new products and new things, I said, I think this is what I want to do for my life. And I
Wow.
gave it a try. I gave it a try before all the certifications and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, do I see myself doing this for the rest of my career? And I've already done it for like 8 to 10 years, but I didn't have the title of project management, right?
Yeah.
And so all of us are project managers when it comes to planning your vacation, planning
Hmm.
purchase of your home, planning a purchase of a car. So we are all have all these project management skill sets. We're just not
Yeah.
aware of it. Now, with that said, then I said, let's go be a project manager formally. And that's how PM for You was born. And I'm just lucky that we have success and have
Yeah.
clients to think and validate that vision that I committed to. You know,
I love that, and we're gonna dive a little into PM for you down the line.
sure.
But I want to know, at what point in your career did you realize that project management wasn't just a job; it was part of your purpose?
Yeah. You know what's funny? So um, I loved project management before I became a project manager, right?
Yeah.
Formally. But it took me to have a break in my life, and that
Wow.
break was provided by a change of roles, a change of jobs, and I was part of a restructuring program at a company,
Yeah.
and that was a defining moment for me, because and you don't have to go through that, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
have to have the space to think about that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was all right. Well, I am well off for a few months, and I had a really nice compensation package, and I just took a break from the busy life that was to have a 8 to 5 job,
Yeah.
manage a family, and manage a home and everything else, and I started doing things that I love. And I started kayaking. I started riding the bicycle. I started exploring concerts. Those are my
Wow.
passions, right? But in all those experiences, I had peace or and fun, of course.
Yeah.
But to think about, what do I want to do and what am I good at, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
being good at could be people, selling, planning, designing things, inventing things, right?
Wow.
And I had all those passions, and I said, okay, well, let me channel that. So that's how I decided to come to a project management career formally.
Yeah,
But I had to have that time. I find that if you have a job, you're just so given into your job and given into what needs to be done that you don't have space to think about those things. You know.
yeah. And I agree with you. I think one of the things that I've learned, especially going into this entrepreneur world, that when you have time to actually focus on yourself and focus on who you are, you start developing the ideas of like, this is actually my purpose. You
Hmm.
start not even developing that idea, you find it. You find what you want to do and who you want to be when growing up. Like I know there's a
Hmm.
lot of people, it takes a long time for them to find it. There are people that
Hmm.
find it early in their life. There are people that find it at 6 years old.
Hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of it. Cause it's like you pass through all these trials and tribulations before you're like, aha, this is what I want to do. This is who I am.
Yep,
Like
I agree.
and it goes back to the idea of roots. A lot of people forget that your roots are what makes you, whether either a professional, a leader, a community activist, if that's the word for it,
Hmm.
and the voice that you want to present out. Which brings me to when you think about your roots and your early professional journey, what values has shaped you to lead today, the way you lead today?
You know, that's a really good question. So, in all the companies that I work with, and those companies work with other companies, the one thing that I found does that was similar and different too is that they all had a set of values and a vision, and
Um,
those are about caring, professionalism, integrity, transparency, trust, and growing up in my careers and the jobs that I had, those were very good values for me to adopt as an employee,
yeah,
but also to set the foundation that that's exactly what I want to do moving forward.
yeah.
Um, so that was a very good influence. The Hard Rock Cafe, love all, serve all. That's our motto, right? Um, in companies that I work with, caring is it's what we want to do for all our customers by doing X product,
Yeah,
right? Transparency and ownership. You know, if you are clear about the success that you had, but also when you have downfalls and what do you do with those downfalls? No, I had a culture that said it's okay to fail and make mistakes
um,
as long as you learn from it, right?
yep, yep,
So I think those values throughout my career and everywhere I went to were key to me building who I am today and building the leadership style that I want to have.
yeah.
My leadership style, it's a servant. I'm a servant leader, right?
Wow, yeah,
And that style I studied it and I was like, all the different leadership styles. You can be commanding and servant and direct and very driven to results, but servant leadership inspires others
yeah.
to deliver what they're great at.
Yeah, yeah, I
Mhm.
love it. I also want to talk a little bit more, especially because you're Latino, you have the Puerto
Mhm.
Rican roots in you, and with everything that you've gone through and everything that has come across your path, whether it was resource and development, product development, quality assurance, sustainability, business strategy, from you having to deal all with that, especially it's a hard field for a Latino to be in.
Mhm.
Oh, what has been the common thread through all that work that you've done from your point of view of things?
Um, I would say that first of all, we Latinos are always here to help people. It
Hmm.
is our culture to how can I help you,
Hmm.
and how can I make you better. So that that Latin growing up culture of Puerto Rico of, can you do me a favor? And people say yes right away. You know,
Yeah,
so that kind of I guess cultural influence to say no when you need to say no, but say
yeah,
more yes than no. That is the key that has helped me throughout my career, and it's part of who I am. And if I cannot help you, I'll find you someone that can help you, right?
Yeah,
Um, so I think that that is what has the red thread that it's between my personal life and work life, and culturally, you know.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter where I am. I've gone to Latin America, Canada, everything else, and I exhibit that. How can I help you? And people are more open to, hey, this guy is not here to tell
yeah,
me what to do. He's inviting me what to do. You
yeah.
know?
I love that. I want to before we talk about PM for you, I want you, for Latinos out there, not even just Latinos in general, what advice would you give professionals and entrepreneurs who feel overlooked, underestimated, and
Hmm.
unsure or unsure of how to step into those leadership roles?
That's a great question. Um, I think find your tribe.
Mm,
Find the group of people that you support them and they support you, and that's where mentorship
yeah,
comes in, right? Like find a mentor, um, because a mentor, and it's very simple. You just say someone that you admire or someone that you want to learn finance or logistics or something, and
yeah,
say, hey, I'm interested in learning about what you do because I'm curious to see if this is a path for me.
yeah.
Would you be my mentor? Okay. And for professionals and Latinos that are there, you're gonna find your mentors. They just won't say it to you. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna show it,
Hmm.
you know, and they're gonna show it by saying, "Hey, would you mind doing this for me?" And you're like, "Well, I don't know how to do that," and that opens the door. Can you teach me? Right. On the other hand, everyone is an expert and has an affinity for something.
Yeah,
So if you don't know about construction or you don't know about how to fix a car, um, then find people that do that. But if you do know how to do other things outside of your work, then share it on your personal life and say, hey, this
yeah,
weekend I was working on the car and I learned how to do a spark plug,
yeah.
because you'll find that common thread and commonality between all of us at some point, by sharing a little bit about your personal life.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the more people, I always say, and it's I learned this a lot going into college, that the less you speak up, the less you eat until you start
Mhm.
speaking up. When you start speaking up, you understand the people that you want to be with, the community you want to work with,
Mhm.
and of course, you're going to learn more and more about it until it narrows down to the small circle people are scared to have. And
Yeah.
sometimes even that small circle, that small team, that small tribe, like you said,
Mhm.
is all you need to be able to survive. Because
Yeah.
you guys know how to push one another, you guys know how to speak to one another,
Mhm.
and it also goes back into that type of motivation that you actually need and that realization that people could give you. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I want to bring up to this is that you often speak about the collaboration and the power of we instead of
Mhm.
I. Why is that mindset so important in leadership and business growth, especially in this day and age?
That's a good question. So it is all tied to the servant leadership style,
Mm,
right? A leader that is servant to the people that he leads depends on people, right? And it doesn't matter what you do in life. You can be the CEO of IBM or Ford, or you can
mm-hmm,
be the CEO of your construction or landscaping company, right?
mm-hmm,
You can't do it alone. You can't do it by yourself. You need
mm-hmm.
people to help you, right? So if you have the power of we as a north star for you in your life, then you can accept that you can lead people, but without people, you can't get to where you need to be.
Yeah,
You know, and that is where the power of we and collaboration comes in, because a team can deliver the unimaginable. And I equate this to, launching a rocket to in space, right? How many
Yeah.
people do you need to launch a rocket? Eventually, who you see in the highlight is the astronauts and the mission
Mm-hmm.
director, right? But they all depend on every single person to
Yeah.
make sure the combustion systems, the metals, the engineering, and so on. So that's you know, an analogy I like to use about the power of we.
It's very well explained because a lot of people forget about the people in the background, not the people in front of the camera. Like
Hmm.
what actually took the whole group that took to actually make things happen. Like
Hmm.
with and one of the things that I would add to that is that BroPak didn't start growing until I started creating the people behind the camera, and
Hmm.
that's what made me figure out like, okay, this isn't just a community thing. It's always been the idea of a wolf pack, and the wolf pack, like, you never know which one's the leader because they're always hitting in the crowd. But it goes back to everybody in that tribe is literally working together to continue moving their mission forward. So
Yeah,
it's very beautiful.
I
um
love it. I love it.
it goes back to the roots. So as we start diving into what PM for you is, I want to talk about what should a strong project leader do when a team faces delays, conflict, or uncertainty.
Hmm. That's a great question. The first thing is that you need to stay calm,
Mm,
because calm um, provokes safety.
mm,
Okay. A lot of people and project managers, leaders, if you react in a different way, and it's okay to have your emotions, right? So emotional intelligence is really important as a leader, right?
mm-hmm.
But calmness can give your team that safety, that it's okay to make mistakes, that
Wow.
it's okay to be wrong and learn from mistakes. So the first
Mm-hmm.
thing when you're leading a team, managing a project, and you have a setback and it was caused by someone, the second thing, it's about not pointing fingers as to who made the mistake,
Yeah.
and redirect the conversation to how can we solve it.
Yeah.
Because it could be that marketing, finance, manufacturing, sales, someone made a mistake.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on with that person in their personal life. You don't know if a parent died, a child is sick, right? So rather than to say, well, it's someone's fault, you
Mm-hmm.
say, great, thank you for telling me about this situation. Let's work on how we can fix it together, and we have everybody in the room
Yeah.
to brainstorm the best solution to gain time, save money, or get more funds, you know,
Yeah.
and then break that to the client. So transparency,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Um, I've always believed that it doesn't matter what you do, truth will always come out. So it's not worth it to come up with a story to justify yourself. Rather,
Mm-hmm.
just be honest and say, hey, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I missed a deadline. I made a mistake on this spreadsheet,
Yeah.
right? And a good leader will appreciate your honesty rather than to punish you for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I love that. As we talk about leadership and roles, would you be able to explain to me what PM for you is for the people that don't know what they're probably asking already 24 minutes into the conversation? It's just like, what is PM for
Yeah,
you?
definitely, definitely. So PM for you, it's a consulting firm, and we work with startups, entrepreneurs, business owners, and global companies, right? So we have a different set of clients depending on the need. But basically, project management is a proven practice that works for every single company in the world. If you want to develop
Mm-hmm.
a new car, you use project management. If you want to build a house, you use project management. If you want to open up a new restaurant, you use project management, right? So we are both, me and my partner, are experts of with over 2 decades of experience working
Oh.
in companies utilizing project management. So we know what are the tools and
Yeah.
how fast we can go and what we can skip and where do we need to stop and spend some more time to provide customers with expert project management for your plans, whatever is optimizing your cost, whatever is improving your logistics, launching a new product, launching a new service.
Yeah.
That is a little bit about what we do, and then we do it with integrity, transparency.
Yeah.
It's all about customer centric way of working. You know.
Yeah. I love it. It goes back to the hospitality of everything behind it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I love how you said that, especially about the entrepreneur part. So a lot of entrepreneurs have visions, they have passion, but sometimes they always lack structure. What
Hmm.
happens from your point of view? What happens when a business has no vision, has a vision but no system?
Yep. And that's where we would come in and say, you know what, I hear your vision and you want to get from here to here. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
provide the structure and the tools to get you there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and proven tools, right? Not just because we say so, right? Um, so that is a lot of our customers are entrepreneurs with brilliant ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and then we say, okay, fine, so let's do 4 steps of project management, and discovery, development, capability, and launch, and all of
Yeah.
those steps and phases, we then drill down of what is needed. Do you have it? And if not, how can we get it and get it
Mm-hmm.
done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
um, so that is how we help entrepreneurs, you know, make their vision, and depending on, if it's an entrepreneur, it's about launching something new. If it's an existing business, then usually when you come across the maturity of the business, then you start to see operational
Yeah.
gaps, right? And
Yep.
how can we make processes better? How can we save money? How can we improve margins and so on? So there are specific tools for that too. You know.
So I love it because I work with a lot of small business owners and a lot of entrepreneurs that are basically trying to get their business off the ground. And when I tell them the idea of project management, they see it as first complicated, then next is, oh, this sounds a lot more corporate. I don't have the ability for that.
Hmm.
Um, and to me, one of the hardest thing to explain to them what exactly project management is. How
Hmm.
can you explain it in a very simple way that people that don't know business, that
Sure.
people that are getting into business and trying to understand it, how would you explain it to them?
Sure. I'm going to give you a quote that I love. Business owners are visionaries that drive the light. Project management is the engine to get there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to your question, how can entrepreneurs understand the value of project management, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, visionaries and entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders and CEOs, they have the strategy, and project management is how you execute it. And project management has a lot of tools that you can apply. A project charter, a project plan, a risk assessment, budget,
Mm-hmm.
timelines, resources, capability. So all these tools are there in place
Yeah.
to make your vision come through, and you can launch anything you want, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't, you don't need a project manager, but it's just going to take you longer and it's going to cost you more. Where if
Yeah.
you have a project manager that is skilled and versed, um, then it's about using tools. It's like a carpenter. They know what tool to use to create a table, right?
Yeah.
Where if you are not a carpenter, you're going to try different woods, different tools, different treatments, different paints, different all these things. So
Mm-hmm.
think of us like your experts for getting your business ideas or optimizing your business, like you would a mechanic. A mechanic
Yeah.
know exactly how to diagnose it. They know what parts to get. They know how to fix it, and they know how to get you at the door. So um, that's a little bit about project management and entrepreneurship.
So
And I also think that every entrepreneur should take a basic course on project management, um, just because it'll help them. And
yeah,
maybe they don't have the budget or the resources to hire someone, but it's going to get their mind and say, okay, I have this vision. And by being aware of project management, they're going to have,
hmm,
oh, I need to do this, not just go from point A to point C. There's a
yeah,
point B that needs to happen. It's going to take more time, but in the end, you're going to have less cleanup or less cost
yes.
associated with launching your product or service.
Yeah, and I love it because it showcases one, it showcases everything that you have been dealing with, and especially the clientele that you have been working with. It's not even just now, but before even starting PM for you. So
Hmm.
so it goes back to the idea of your roots, going back to the resilience, re-innovations, and what you're leaving behind. So as we start coming towards the end of this interview, I wanna talk a little bit more into the legacy that you're leaving behind, and what you're pushing forward towards, either from the past or going into the future. So you spent a lot of years in global corporate roles or different positions before building PM for you. What pushed you into becoming an entrepreneur?
Hmm, that's an interesting question. Um, I think it's something that I've never done and
Wow.
something that I wanted to try because there's nothing wrong about trying something, right?
Yes.
And entrepreneurship, I did not go to school for it. I did not learn it, but rather I surrounded myself with entrepreneurs
Wow.
at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of PM4U. And we had this tribe of entrepreneurs that we would
Mm-hmm.
talk about our success, but also what did we learn and how do we fail, right?
Wow. That part.
And that cemented the, okay, I really want to be an entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
because I dip my toes on the water, and it called my attention.
Wow.
Well, that happened because I've done the 8 to 5 jobs and I've done the work and I've done that. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, I need something new, right? So it's something that I can build and leave a legacy, not
Mm-hmm.
only the company, but rather in my community,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and inspire others and share knowledge and invite others to learn about project management. I don't need to have what is it called? How would I say it? I don't need to make money every time I talk to someone
Mm-hmm.
because money can be made in so many ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So rather than being very focused on helping others for money, how about we help others to just leave a legacy? You know?
Wow. I love how you put that, because throughout the whole conversation, when you one of the things that you keep bringing up is what you learned, though how the past have shaped who you are now, and a lot of the things that you have done have shaped the vision that you have today.
Hmm.
So especially with the journey that you're walking, because everybody's walking their own journey and they're experiencing different things. What has your journey taught you about resilience and reinnovation?
That it is never too late to do something different.
Mm,
Okay. Sometimes you find yourself, well, I'm a great mechanic or I'm a great lawyer, right?
mm-hmm,
Um, but if you have a curiosity for something, treat it as your side gig and see
mm-hmm,
where that goes. You know,
mm-hmm,
innovation is in all of us. You know, you're always wondering, oh, what, I have a problem with my stove. How can I fix it? Right?
yeah,
Innovation is all around us, and so if you nurture something that piques your interest and you want to find a solution, you can make a business out of it,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
you know because if you have that problem or if you're lacking that service or product, I'm sure someone else in the world does too.
yeah. And I love it because at the end, you don't know, even if you trying to help fix the stove up, you might end up liking it more than your 9 to 5 or the next step you think about it. I always say try out YouTube University. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. But in the end, everybody it's in their own journey. And
Hmm.
I think your family has a formation, your school has a formation, and they're all insights, and it's just having that mindset. And I've always had that mindset. I just didn't listen to it close enough.
Hmm.
You know, and so we all have these conversations with each other, right?
Hmm.
About how to make something better, or what did I learn, and or how can I fail?
Yeah.
Because some
Yeah.
failure, it's such a beautiful thing. It's the only way most humans learn um, about mistakes, right?
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
could tell you, don't do this, don't do that.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
1,000 people that will tell you, don't go here, don't do this, right?
Hmm.
And some of us will listen, and some of us won't get the real meaning of don't do that until we go through it,
Yes.
you know?
I know myself, I have to be able to go through those trials and tribulations in order to basically understand more of what it is. I need to be more hands on.
Yeah,
I had to be pushed to the edge to be like, that's what it is.
yeah,
It's as simple, even though it's the simplest things, but it's more like I want to experience it. My mind, my soul, everything wants to experience it, so I could be
yeah,
like, I understand what that means.
yep.
So as you continue building your legacy, what kind of impact do you want your work to leave behind?
Um, to me, my legacy is people,
Mm,
you know? How can I influence, teach, and pass down what I know
yeah,
so that people can be better? And be better, it's a broad term, right?
yeah,
So if I can influence and give you any kind of knowledge and any kind of tool that will be useful for your life, not only on your personal life, but on your professional life.
yeah,
That is what I like to see for me and for PM for you. Um, it is we're here for a short time if you think
mm-hmm.
about it, and I'm old enough but not old. Um, so not old, right?
You're done.
But one thing that I can look back is that in my 20s were like a blur. My 30s were a blur,
Wow.
and good things because it made me who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I get more mature, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even close to being mature. Um,
Developing.
I think that we're all here for a short period of time as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so let's make the best out of it. Let's
Yeah.
live the moment. Let's find one moment in your day to leave a mark. Like
Wow.
5 minutes talking to someone,
Yeah.
and then move on to working and move on to do this. I find that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is I check myself. How do I feel today? What do I want to accomplish? And that took a
Mm-hmm.
lot of training. It's a mind training, right? But how can I leave a mark? How can I
Mm-hmm.
contribute to this world? Um, I don't need to be remembered. Oh my God, Xavier, blah, blah, blah. But I want the moment that we spent together to be remembered.
Mm, that
Yeah.
part, I really love that part because, like, it's one thing that I love that you said was the within that day, what moment was it?
Hmm.
Whether it was a minute, 5 minutes, what that day? Because a lot of people think about within the year, within your lifetime, and like there's too much going on for you to
Hmm.
focus on all that. And in a world that right now that we see the narrative is more bad than good, we have to figure out one thing that you said: wake up in the morning, figure out how do I feel, what
Hmm.
do I want to do? How do we push forward from this? So I love
Hmm.
that you said that. Before we go to the closing question, where can people find you? Where can people learn about opinion for you, Xavier? Where can we go?
Yeah, 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 definitely. So you can find us at www.pm4foryu mentorshipu.com. My phone number is 267-809-2801. And then on LinkedIn and Facebook and social media, just search for PM for you. And we're the only one with a traded mark name.
Go
So
ahead.
we're unique, right?
Love it.
Yep. Yep.
So, going to the last question. When people hear your story, what do you hope that they take away about leadership, project management, entrepreneurship, your roots, and
Mhm.
building with purpose?
Give it a try.
Mm,
Give it a try. You have nothing to lose by surrounding yourself with your tribe or resources or learning something new and try it. You
mm-hmm,
could be 20 and try entrepreneurship and say, nope, that's not for me. I need a 9 to 5 job. But
mm-hmm,
when you're in your
mm-hmm,
30s, try it again. When you're in your 40s, try it again. And by your 40s, if it didn't work, then it's not meant to be. And that's
mm-hmm.
okay. We all have a role to play in this world. And
Yeah.
you gotta be the best that you want to be at what you want to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So yeah, give it a try. And if it doesn't work out, you learn something.
Yeah, I love it. And there's a this question just came up because there's some especially though when were doing the presentation, it went back to the next generation. What is a food for thought you'll give to young generations that are about to graduate high school or just stepping
Hmm.
into whatever they're trying to figure out during high school and after high school?
Hmm. Hmm. I think if I put myself in my high school years or when I was in college or graduating,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that I would have learned to do more was to meet people and network
Mm,
and just say hi, hello, my name is so and so, I'm a student and I'm studying XYZ, right? I, because of how introvert I was, I never saw the value of that.
yeah.
But I remember I was on a plane and I was talking to someone sitting next to me and he just started talking and everything else. And turns out that he was the inventor of a treatment for prostate cancer, right?
Wow.
And we just talked and exchanged emails and everything else. And
Mm-hmm.
5 years later, my dad had cancer. So I said,
Wow.
hey, you know, let me call this expert to ask him what's the best treatment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of relationship, and I know when you're in high school and when you're in college, you don't know what you're gonna do or what you love yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But networking, you don't have to know what to do. You just make some new friends,
That's
and talk
amazing.
and be open to everything. uh, it's a very hard age because everybody needs to feel secure about themselves and what
Mm-hmm.
they know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But be open to say, you know what? I don't know anything about this. Can you tell me more?
Yeah.
You know, um, just because you never know, you might become an artist because you talk to an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and that peak. So networking and talking to people from different backgrounds, different nationalities, different education. It's just talk to people. We're all here together. We're
Yeah.
no better than others. We're here to lift each other up, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what I would tell people that are in high school and college is talk to people, get to know, be open, and listen. That's it.
Yeah. And I think it also goes back to you never know who you're meeting. You never know
Hmm.
who you're talking with. It could be the next president of the United States. It could be the next world leader. It could be whatever it is. You can make an impact to them, and that simple hello could change your whole life.
Yep.
So it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
So Javier, thank you for joining the BroPak Blueprint podcast. It is a pleasure having you, talking with you, and diving deeper into what created PM for you. Your story is a reminder that visions matters, but infrastructure it's what helps the vision move. leadership is not just about managing tasks or trying to figure out how you can look better. It's about guiding people, building systems, and creating something that's strong enough that go and grows beyond you. So thank you so much, and that's it.
Muchas gracias por tenerme. Hablo español también. Y es un placer ser parte de BroPak Blueprint y seguir inspirando a nuestra comunidad. And to inspire others is what I love to live in this world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for the ones listening, thank you for joining the BroPak Blueprint. On to the next episode.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Step up!